Peter Obi has reacted to the recent call by the Speaker of Borno State House of Assembly, calling on the government to buy a new presidential jet for Kazim Shettima, that his life is in danger and all other things he said. Peter Obi called it insensitive. He questioned the value the presidential jet and all the travels both Tinubu and Kazim Shettima have made in the past 6 months, what value they have brought or added into Nigeria's economy. Posting on his verified X handle, Peter Obi said, quote, "I just read a disturbing comment in the media space attributed to one of the supposed political leaders in the country that the life of the vice president is in danger because of the faults recorded in his official aircraft. The leader went further to urge the federal government to purchase a new aircraft for the vice president. In making such a remark now, the speaker is insensitive and obviously unconcerned about the prevailing economic situation in the country. That Nigerians are facing untold hardship at this moment is no secret. Such a provoking call is coming from a person who probably is oblivious of the fact that Nigeria at present has continued to manifest every trait of a failed state. We are today among one of the 11 worst governed African nations in the last 10 years. We are also among the 20 most hungry nations in the world, with our people facing worsening mass poverty, extreme hunger and starvation. Our nation remains the poverty capital of the world, with our per capita income crashing further from $1,700 in 2023 to $1,109 this year. Are these not the issues that should be prioritized by committed leaders? Our national electricity grid has so far collapsed 8 times this year alone and 105 times in the last 10 years, plunging our small businesses into great losses and households into darkness. In the past 15 months, several businesses have closed down or become distressed due to the harsh economic environment in the country. Are these not the issues that should preoccupy us as leaders, rather than being consumed by our selfish desires for needless luxury at the expense of the people we are called to serve? What does Nigeria's vice president need a new jet for? And what value are all presidential and vice presidential trips adding to our present situation? It was not until 2014 that Indonesia, with substantial economic growth of over 6% annually for the past 10 years, adding about 50% to both her GDP and GDP per capita, decide to buy a presidential jet used by both the president and the vice president. The vice president travels mostly in the country's national airline, Garuda Indonesia, and since we have recently undeservedly bought one, it should be used on essential, inevitable trips of the president and vice president. It is time to sit down and find solutions to our litany of challenges for the well-being of the people and the development of our country. Nigeria will rise again if the leadership can commit to self-service." Unquote. Peter Obi is right, and to think that the Speaker of Borno State House of Assembly made this statement at a time most parts of the North are in darkness proves that most Nigerian politicians don't care about the people. Imagine using the same energy to call for a restoration of power in many states in the North. He won't do that because his home and office, the State House of Assembly, never lack power. There's always constant power there. He doesn't care what businesses are suffering, how people are coping, how it affects the local economy. He's only concerned about his political ally, not the people they are serving. That's assuming they are serving Nigerians, because it is the other way around. When you judge what is happening, when you look at how politicians comport themselves in public, how they prioritize projects, including all the governors, you will see that Nigerians are the ones serving them, despite the fact that Nigerian people pay them salaries, but they feel they are lords over Nigerians. Yes, it doesn't make any sense that a governor will sit in the government house and be awarding projects that do not add value to the local economy. And talking about the value the new presidential jet and all the foreign trips that Tinubu and Shettima have made since they came to office, they haven't added a single value to the Nigerian economy. According to the Punch newspapers, since they came to power, both Tinubu and Shettima have spent about 6 months abroad. Out of their 17 months in power, they spent 6 months outside the country. What are they doing? Let that sink in. What have they brought that is commensurate to all the wasted money, all the extra codes, thousands of dollars and millions of dollars spent in buying a new presidential jet, and all the retinue of aides that went to Dubai, traveled with them to other destinations? Nigerians haven't gained anything from all the travel. So why are they traveling abroad? Why are they wasting scarce foreign exchange on foreign travels? And looking at Indonesia, that P2B cited, Indonesia is bigger than Nigeria in terms of population, in terms of economy. In fact, Nigeria imports finished goods from Indonesia. That's to tell you how better they are doing. And they only have one presidential jet that was bought less than a decade ago. So you will understand their priorities. Their priorities are their people. They have to develop their people, their local economy. They put their people ahead of themselves. They are selfless in managing their affairs, unlike what is obtainable here. Immediately a Nigerian politician gets to office, he will start spending on himself instead of on the people that he's supposed to serve. Take for instance this administration. Immediately they got to power, didn't take them time to go for a supplementary budget. Majority of that budget was spent on themselves. It was from the supplementary budget that they bought a fleet of cars for the First Lady, someone that is not recognized by the Nigerian constitution, but they still bought many cars for her motorcade. Are we going to talk about Shettima's mansion? It came from the same budget. So essentially, they came to office, created more problems for Nigerians by increasing the price of petrol and floating the naira, which effectively devalued Nigerian currency. At the end of the day, instead of directing a supplementary budget to cushion the effect on the economy, they directed the spendings to themselves at the detriment of the larger population. So you can see differences here. Cite other countries as examples, it is the same thing. They always take care of the larger interest, the national interest, not their personal interest. Even if their personal interest comes up, it is always minute. It is never larger than the national interest. When you look at budgets in Nigeria, even at the state level, you will see humongous billions being spent at the government house, being spent by the state assemblies. Are we going to talk about the National Assembly? Their 2024 budget is over 300 billion naira. Elected people at the National Assembly are not up to 1,000 persons. But here we are, only in Nigeria, can they be spending above 300 billion naira? Granted, they must have aides and other civil servants that are working at the National Assembly. But how much do they earn in comparison to how much elected members earn? And their budget will definitely increase in 2025. This is not an argument. Despite the fact that they are earning millions in salaries every month, they still think it is not enough because Naira has been so devalued. When you convert these millions they are earning to dollars, you see that they are actually earning lower than they earned 10 years ago. Yes. So they will keep increasing the salary. That's why they are taking more loans and taxing Nigerians more. There are currently 4 different bills, executive bills submitted by the executive branch to the National Assembly. All these bills are about how to raise more money. So Nigerians must tighten their belts. The suffering and hardship of 2024 is just the beginning. In 2025, it is going to get worse. Yes, some of these loans have long moratorium period. Repayment of some of these loans might start around 2040s. So you can understand the deep mess we are in. Some of them wouldn't be around when repayment of these loans will start. So until we change our priorities and do all the right things, until we start holding political office holders to account, nothing, absolutely nothing will change in Nigeria. When people are supposed to invest in agriculture, instead they go and buy a vehicle. They will buy official cars everywhere. Agriculture will definitely suffer. When the government is supposed to invest in power generation and distribution, They leave all that and invest the money in building a new government house or building a non-priority airport. You are building an airport, you don't even have a middle class in your state that will use that airport or fly planes. You don't produce anything that you want to export by air, but you want to waste that money in building an airport. So this is the problem. If they don't invest in the right sectors at the right time, all the sectors continue to suffer. Thanks for watching.